Okay, changing the oil and filter on the Shibaura engine in a Lovol TB554. First thing to be aware of is that there are two drain plugs, one on either side of this torque tube or whatever it is, and the head size is going to be 17 millimeter. Now if you happen to have a front end loader, you're also going to have this mess. These drain plugs are directly over top of this frame. And this frame piece is for the loader. So if you don't have a loader, you're not going to have this mess. Now to access the fill point, you're going to have to pull the side panel off. There's one bolt here, there's one here, and that's it. And those are both 10 millimeter head bolts. Okay, with the side panel off, you can get at the oil fill, which is right there. It's right in front of the injection pump. Now, notice it's still draining a little bit, and so this is something I like to do. You don't have to, but I recommend it, is that before I put the plugs back in the pan, I flush some clean oil through. And just make sure that your fresh oil is going to be as clean as possible. The oil filter is pretty much directly above where the drain plugs are, on the right side of the block, right next to the oil dipstick. Oil filters. So this is a little bit of an interesting one. I guess it depends what you can get. So this is the factory oil filter, and that number is basically gibberish to any of the parts stores around here, but I did cross-reference it to a number of different filters. I'll put that list up here. And what I ended up with was this, an AC Delco PF53. It was the first one on my list, and they had it on the shelf, so easy to get, and it was cheap as well. So if you're in North America, that'll be a good choice. Make sure that you clean off your oil filter mounting area, and double check that the oil filter gasket wasn't left behind. This gasket can end up coming off and staying on that mounting plate. Okay, with the filter on and the drain plugs back in and snugged up, it is time to fill this puppy. So two things you need to know is where the dipstick is. It is right there next to the filter and conveniently located directly behind this big frame if you have a loader. My favorite flavor of dino juice is the fake kind. With the oil all topped up, the next step is to fire it up. Do this with everything you do an oil change on. Always fire it up after you get it up to the level on the dipstick to get the oil circulating through the system properly. I believe the capacity on this engine is a little over 5.5 liters.